The P.E.A.C.E program, it is composed of several different techniques within that 1 hour. So at the top of the class, they experience mindfulness tools and techniques. So we bring in content and teachings that grow their perspective, that are really interactive. And the purpose of mindfulness is to shift their perspective, to elevate their level of consciousness and what they're aware of within themselves and what they're able to recognize in other people. So that really, really helps their relationships with themselves, their relationships with their coworkers, and how they're dealing with and experiencing civilians.
It's amazing, and I think it's a great benefit because a relaxed officer, wellness, and also our civilian staff is a better officer, a better civilian staff to serve our community.
We have a solid meditation practice throughout that time, and then we move into yoga, which is the physical practice or asana of yoga. We also practice pranayama or breath work through the movement to connect the mind and the body so they get the ultimate experience of mindfulness and yoga. And then we end it with a deep state of relaxation. So we'll induce that with shoulder massage, aromatherapy, and sound reverberation from a sound bowl.
I remember doing this sound bath the first couple times with you. I had uncontrollable tears coming out because it was just such a release that I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. The meditation is something that I've always, I have apps and I talk about it, but I never actually do it. Yeah. So experiencing it with you and guided by you has been unbelievable. And I just feel like a new person. I feel like I was angry before, and I don't know why, but I do. I have anxiety and depression, as we all do.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in my life I've actually been able to use all these tools that I've been given in the moment. And it's bananas. Like, I don't even recognize myself sometimes. I just have such peace just driving. Like, I'm finally seeing other people and really appreciating and recognizing other people too, which I've never really done before. And I didn't realize that until going through this. I just have grown so much.
One of the officers said that they were doing an interrogation, and it just really allowed them to fully take in what that person was saying versus focusing on the next question that they were going to ask. So they really were able to be present and really listen and key in on very specific pieces of information that they may not have heard before if they were just thinking about what they were going to say next.
According to cognitive neuroscientists, by age 35, 95 to 99% of your thoughts and actions originate from the habitual programming of the subconscious mind. These include habits and patterns, automatic body function, creativity, emotions, personality, beliefs and values, cognitive biases, and long-term memory. Moreover, up to 40% of behavior is habitual, taking anywhere from 15 to 250 days to form a new habit.
The great thing is the brain is extremely flexible. Neuroplasticity is the ability for the brain to be retrained and rewired and reprogrammed. But the way to do that is through new or different practices. And so the practice of mindfulness, the practice of yoga, the practice of meditation gives us the opportunity to change those transmitters and those connections in the brain so that we are practicing different emotions, different mindsets, different breath patterns and techniques. And we practice that enough so that it becomes a part of the unconscious mind and a part of that programming that can operate on its own.
In a program evaluation survey, 100% reported feeling more equipped to manage stress beyond the program's classroom. 78% found the program's curriculum to be directly relevant to their daily work and life experiences, and 90% reported integrating program lessons into their on-duty responses.
Police officers and police department personnel and even first responders in general are experiencing so much more stress and trauma compared to the general population. And when it comes to PTSD and depression and anxiety, they report a little over double the general population, which is still suspected to be very underestimated because of the culture of law enforcement. It is a very demanding profession, and there's also a culture of holding it in or keeping it to yourselves, and there's not a ton of resources or outlets for that expression to happen, or even tools to understand how they can release those things. And so at the rate of which they're experiencing that much more stress, we also need to match that and give them that much more opportunity to release. And that has to be a daily, at least a weekly practice.
The significance for police officers getting instruction from professional instructors is very important in their ability to maintain their practice and to have consistency in their growth. Being a part of a community of yoga practitioners is very different from just practicing at home by yourself. I think knowing that people that you're practicing with are there and not only supporting you but keeping you accountable is very, very important in that consistency of the practice and the growth of the practice.
With the support of our local community partners, including fitness retailers, wellness and self-care service providers, and the Houston Independent School District, we've been able to expand and strengthen community relationships rooted in a culture of mindfulness, understanding, and connection.